Hi there, Joel from Jonesy's, and today I'm going to show you guys how to replace your knock sensor and wiring harness on a 2004 Chevy Silverado 6-liter pickup. These things are kind of notorious for having a code P0332 and or P0337. Again, we're working on 2004 Chevy Silverado. There's the engine. It's a vortech 6-liter. So we'll get right down to it and show you how it's done. What you're going to need for this project is kind of an assortment of just generic tools. This is not a overly complicated job, but let's just start with some of the obvious ones. A screwdriver to pry some hoses off and to get some wiring clips off, some needle nose pliers, extensions, an assortment of kind of metric sockets. I'm going to use 1/4-inch drive stuff just because everything's either going to be like an 8mm or a 10mm socket. You're also going to need some RTV sealer because what we're going to do is we're actually going to glue these wiring harnesses in as per the service bulletin. Also going to replace the two actual knock sensors, and we also are going to replace the intake gasket itself. This truck has about 115,000 miles on it, so I would say it's probably time just to go ahead and replace that gasket. Not necessarily required, but I think it's a good idea. You're also going to want some kind of a light because it gets pretty dark underneath that hood, and I prefer to use an actual headlight when I'm working on stuff like this. So anyway, that covers the hardware and the basic tools that you're going to need. So we're going to go ahead and start disassembling. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and remove the vortech engine cover right there. That requires a 8mm socket. We're also going to take off this air intake over to here, and that'll require an 8mm socket also, as well as a screwdriver to pop this hose bracket loose. So once we get those two items off, I'll show you guys the next step. Now with that engine cover off and the air intake off, you can kind of get a better view of what we're working with. So on some models, you'll actually have cables right here that control your throttle body, and you'll want to go ahead and disconnect those. We have drive-by-wire, so I'm going to go ahead and take this connector off here. I'm going to take this breather vent tube off here, and I'm going to take off this EGR right here, as well as the bolts that hold the throttle body on. There are 3 of those bolts, or nuts I should say, one there, and one there. There is a coolant tube, which is right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It kind of snakes around, goes into the radiator, and then goes down, grab a light, goes down to that intake manifold right there, or I should say the cylinder head right there. We're going to actually just loosen those nuts and pull this throttle body out and lay it down in here so that we can go ahead and get this intake manifold free. Now that we've gotten the throttle body removed, the EGR disconnected, as well as the valve cover vent on this side, I'm going to move over here to the fuel line. So this is going to take a special tool to pop that fuel line loose. So we're going to get that fuel line off. We're also going to take these 3 bolts out on the top. Those are 10mm socket bolts. And take that plate off. And then after that, we're going to start to remove some of that wiring. I went ahead and removed the 3 bolts up here with the 10mm socket to give us better access to this wiring harness. I also bled the pressure off of this fuel line with this Schrader valve. Over on this side, we're going to go ahead and remove, disconnect this fuel line. It's got a little clip in the back that holds it in here, like that. And then we'll use a special fuel line removal tool, 3/8, that will aid us in removing this fuel line. So we're going to go ahead and get that fuel line disconnected. I'm also going to go ahead and take off this vent hose right here. It goes back to that valve cover back there. And then start disconnecting some of this wiring harness. So we'll disconnect this wiring harness. We'll take this clip off right here to try to get this wiring harness loose and held up away from that intake manifold. As you can see, we have the fuel line disconnected. It's laid back right there. We also have a bunch of the wiring harness disconnected and held back just with a pull type strap. It just kind of helps hold it up out of our way so we don't have to fight that wiring harness laying on top of this intake manifold. So next step is your injectors. So obviously this is a V8, so there are 4 of them on each side, and we need to disconnect the wiring connectors. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect all 4 of those on this side, and then come over here, disconnect all 4 of those on that side. And at that point, it will be time for us to go ahead and remove the actual intake manifold bolts, which are all of those bolts right down here, all along that whole thing. Then we'll lift the intake manifold up as a whole assembly with the fuel rail, and it'll gain us access to those knock sensors. These injector wiring harnesses can actually be a little tricky to get disconnected, so I thought I would show you guys exactly how they come apart. Let me get the. Hopefully you guys can see this injector has a little tab that you pull up like that, and then it allows you to push in on that release tab and lift the injector out. I've gotten all the injectors out, so let me show you guys the trick to these. You can see it's got this little clip here. You pull that clip all the way out, and then what you can do is you can push down on that, and it will release that little retainer. Hopefully you can see that move right there. That's the goal. So you have to push that down, and then you can pop those injectors out. So I got all 8 injectors disconnected from the wiring harness. Then I used a 8mm deep socket with about a 6-inch extension, and I loosened all of those intake manifold bolts. Now the intake is loose, and we can lift it off and get access to those knock sensors. As you can see, I have the intake manifold removed, and you've gained access to the actual knock sensors and the knock sensor harness. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get the shop vac and vacuum up all this debris that's underneath that intake manifold, and go ahead and put some rags inside these ports to prevent anything from falling down into the engine, and then we'll go ahead and remove the knock sensor wiring harness and the knock sensors themselves. Here you can see we've gotten the ports all plugged up and all the loose debris removed, and around where the gasket sealing surface is, we got that cleaned up. So now everything's sealed off, got all the big stuff vacuumed up. We're going to go ahead and see about what's underneath these plugs. Now, one thing you'll notice is that these plugs are pretty loose in here, and the complaint or the bad design of this is that water can pretty easily penetrate and get stuck down inside and corrode those knock sensors. So that one doesn't look too bad. Let's take a look at the back one. The back one, you can see, has tons of water in it and is pretty heavily corroded. So there's our problem. So the way we're going to remedy this is we are going to create a silicone RTV barrier around and actually glue those plugs down to the intake valley plate here. So we're going to go ahead and get all this cleaned up and get ready to put the new harness in and the new oxygen sensors in. Well, here's our culprit, the completely rusted, corroded knock sensor. So we've got all of the knock sensor holes cleaned out, and we are ready to put the new ones in. We'll use a 7/8 socket and an extension to bolt those in, snug them up, and then we're going to put a bead of silicone around the tops of these holes to seal off those rubber plugs to prevent this from happening again. Well, here's what it looks like with the new intake gaskets installed on the cylinder heads, as well as the knock sensor wires all glued in and siliconed and sealed up. So now we are ready. We've got the intake manifold itself is all clean, ready to go. So we are going to lift that intake manifold and set it back in place and torque it down to manufacturer's specifications. So as you can see, we have the intake manifold set. We went ahead and torqued the intake in a crisscross pattern starting in the middle. First step on the torque is 44 inch-pounds. The second step is 89 inch-pounds. Not foot-pounds, inch-pounds. So now, next step, since we have everything torqued up, is we're going to go ahead and put the throttle body back on, get it hooked up, the fuel line hooked back up, and lay the wiring harness and put everything back together kind of in the same sequence that we took it apart. So everything's all back together. The air intake got put on, the engine cover, and now it's time for the moment of truth. So remember, you had the fuel system completely disconnected, so it's a good idea to turn the key on and let the fuel pump build pressure. So we'll go inside here and cycle the key a couple times, let it build some pressure, and you can see the check engine light is still on, so we'll go ahead and clear the codes and test drive. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.